Just 2 weeks ago, the Pentagon quietly signed a contract that changed everything we know about the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. While the world was focused on other news, Lockheed Martin received $56 million to install technology so advanced, so classified, that even our closest allies don't know what's inside these black triangles flying overhead. The upgrade makes the B-2 virtually invisible to the newest Russian and Chinese radar systems. But here's what nobody expected. This isn't just about stealth anymore. The B-2 Spirit has been America's ultimate ace in the hole for over 3 decades. This flying wing can slip through enemy airspace like a ghost, deliver devastating firepower, and return home without anyone knowing it was ever there. But modern warfare is evolving faster than ever before. China and Russia have been developing new radar technologies specifically designed to detect stealth aircraft. They've been bragging about it for years, claiming they've finally cracked the code. Well, they were wrong. This secret $56 million upgrade just proved that American engineering is still decades ahead of our adversaries. And if you're as proud of our military's technological superiority as I am, let me know in the comments below. Type America First if you believe our armed forces deserve the best technology in the world. The story of this upgrade goes much deeper than you might expect. It's not just about better radar protection. It's about a complete transformation of how the B-2 operates in hostile territory. The new countermeasure receivers being installed can detect threats that didn't even exist when the B-2 first took flight in 1989. But to understand why this upgrade is so revolutionary, we need to go back to where it all began. The B-2's original design philosophy. When engineers at Northrop Grumman designed the B-2 in the 1980s, they were solving a specific problem. The Soviet Union had surrounded itself with the most sophisticated air defense network ever created. Surface-to-air missiles, radar stations, and fighter interceptors formed an almost impenetrable shield around Soviet territory. Traditional bombers couldn't get through. The B-2's revolutionary flying wing design wasn't just about looking futuristic. Every angle, every surface, every material was carefully chosen to scatter radar waves away from their source. The result was an aircraft with a radar signature smaller than a large bird. Enemy radar operators would see nothing more than a blip that could easily be dismissed as interference. This stealth technology worked perfectly for decades. The B-2 flew combat missions over Serbia, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya without ever being successfully targeted by enemy air defenses. It became the ultimate symbol of American air power, invisible, untouchable, and unstoppable. But then something changed. In recent years, both China and Russia began developing new types of radar systems. These weren't the traditional radar stations the B-2 was designed to evade. Instead, they used multiple frequencies, advanced computer processing, and network detection systems that could potentially spot stealth aircraft. Chinese military officials started making bold claims. They said their new radar technology could track F-22 Raptors and even detect B-2 bombers. Russian defense contractors began advertising anti-stealth systems to international buyers. The message was clear: America's stealth advantage was supposedly coming to an end. Our military leaders knew better, but they also knew that resting on past achievements wasn't an option. If our adversaries were developing new ways to detect stealth aircraft, then our stealth aircraft needed new ways to stay invisible. The modern threat landscape. Let's talk about what changed in the threat environment. Modern air defense systems don't rely on single radar stations anymore. Instead, they use networked arrays of sensors that can share information instantaneously. When one radar gets a partial detection, it immediately shares that data with dozens of other sensors. Computer algorithms then process all this information to build a complete picture of what's in the sky. This is where things get really interesting, and where the $56 million upgrade becomes crucial. The new systems aren't just trying to see the B-2 with traditional radar, they're using multiple types of sensors simultaneously. Some operate on different frequencies than conventional radar. Others detect heat signatures, electromagnetic emissions, or even the slight disturbance in radio waves caused by a large object moving through the air. But here's what our adversaries didn't count on. American engineers have been preparing for this day for years. The B-2's design always included the capability for major upgrades. The aircraft's internal systems were built with expansion in mind. When new threats emerged, the B-2 could adapt. The recent combat operations proved this point dramatically. Just 3 months ago, 6 B-2 bombers flew a mission that no other aircraft in the world could have completed. They penetrated some of the most heavily defended airspace on Earth, struck their targets with precision, and returned home without a scratch. The enemy's advanced air defense systems never even knew they were there. Before we dive deeper into exactly how this new upgrade works, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. The secret $56 million upgrade revealed. Now we get to the heart of the matter. What exactly does $56 million buy when it comes to upgrading the world's most advanced stealth bomber? The official contract was awarded to Lockheed Martin on September 2, 2025 for something called B-2 Spirit Bomber Countermeasure Receiver upgrades. That might sound technical and boring, but these 5 words represent a quantum leap in defensive capability. Think of it this way. The original B-2 was designed to be invisible to radar. But being invisible isn't enough anymore. Modern threats require active defense. The new countermeasure receivers don't just hide the B-2 from enemy sensors. They actively interfere with those sensors while simultaneously detecting threats that the crew might not even know exist. These aren't your grandfather's electronic warfare systems. The new receivers can process thousands of signals simultaneously, identify friend from foe in milliseconds, and deploy appropriate countermeasures automatically. They operate across frequency ranges that didn't exist when the B-2 was first built. Some of these frequencies are so advanced that most countries don't even have equipment capable of using them yet. But here's the most impressive part. The system learns and adapts in real time. If an enemy radar tries a new detection method, the countermeasure receivers analyze that approach and develop appropriate responses within seconds. It's like having a chess grandmaster playing defense, always thinking several moves ahead of the opposition. The upgrade also includes something called multispectral threat detection. Without getting too deep into classified details, this means the B-2 can now detect threats across multiple types of energy signatures simultaneously. Radar is just one piece of the puzzle. The new system also monitors infrared signatures, electromagnetic emissions, communication patterns, and even subtle changes in atmospheric conditions that might indicate hidden threats. Real-world testing and proven effectiveness. You might wonder how we know this upgrade actually works. After all, the most effective military technologies are often the ones we never hear about in action. But recent events have provided some very public proof of the B-2's continued effectiveness, and by extension, the success of its ongoing modernization program. In June of this year, 7 B-2 bombers conducted what military officials called Operation Midnight Hammer. The mission targeted 2 of the most heavily defended facilities in the Middle East, sites protected by multiple layers of sophisticated air defense systems, including some of the most advanced Russian-made equipment available. The results were remarkable. All 7 bombers reached their targets, delivered their payloads with pinpoint accuracy, and returned to base without taking any damage. Enemy air defense operators later reported that their systems detected nothing unusual that night. As far as they knew, their airspace remained completely secure, but the story gets even more impressive. Intelligence reports later revealed that the enemy had actually upgraded their air defenses just weeks before the mission specifically to counter American stealth technology. They had invested millions of dollars in new detection equipment and trained their operators extensively on identifying stealth aircraft signatures. None of it mattered. The B-2 bombers slipped through their defenses like shadows in the night. This wasn't luck or outdated enemy equipment. This was proof that American stealth technology continues to evolve faster than our adversaries can counter it. And the $56 million upgrade we're discussing represents the next step in that evolution. The technology behind the magic. Let's pull back the curtain a bit and talk about how these countermeasure receivers actually work. Obviously, we can't discuss classified details, but there's enough public information to understand the basic principles. Traditional electronic warfare relied on jamming, essentially broadcasting noise to interfere with enemy radar signals. This approach had a major weakness. When you jam a radar signal, you're basically announcing your presence. It's like turning on a bright spotlight in a dark room. Everyone knows exactly where you are. The new countermeasure receivers work differently. Instead of jamming signals, they manipulate them. They can take an incoming radar pulse, modify it slightly, and send back a false return that makes the aircraft appear to be somewhere it isn't. Or they can make one aircraft appear to be multiple aircraft. Or they can make the aircraft appear to be something completely different, perhaps a flock of birds or a weather balloon. The really advanced part is how quickly and seamlessly this happens. The entire process, detecting the threat, analyzing the signal, calculating the appropriate response, and deploying countermeasures, takes place in microseconds. The enemy radar operator sees what appears to be a normal return signal, never knowing that it has been artificially generated by the very aircraft they're trying to detect. But signal manipulation is just one aspect of the new system. The countermeasure receivers also excel at passive detection, finding threats without revealing the aircraft's own position. They can identify radar installations from hundreds of miles away by analyzing the electromagnetic signatures of their transmissions. This gives B-2 crews unprecedented situational awareness. They know where every enemy sensor is located, what type of equipment they're using, and even how well-trained the operators are, based on subtle patterns in how the systems are being employed. Armed with this information, mission planners can plot courses that avoid detection entirely, or, when necessary, deploy appropriate countermeasures with surgical precision. Integration with existing systems. One of the most challenging aspects of upgrading a complex aircraft like the B-2 is making sure all the new technology works seamlessly with existing systems. The B-2 wasn't designed as a simple aircraft. It's more like a flying computer with thousands of interconnected systems that must work together flawlessly. The new countermeasure receivers had to be integrated with the B-2's flight control systems, navigation equipment, communication arrays, and weapon systems. They also had to interface with the aircraft's stealth coding and internal structure without compromising the carefully engineered radar signature. This integration process alone took years of development and testing. Engineers had to solve problems that had never been encountered before. How do you add powerful, new electronic systems to an aircraft designed for maximum stealth? How do you ensure that the new equipment doesn't interfere with existing systems? How do you train crews to use capabilities that didn't exist when they first learned to fly the B-2? The solution involved completely redesigning several internal systems. New computer processors were installed with processing power that would have been unimaginable when the B-2 first flew. Advanced cooling systems keep the new electronics at optimal operating temperatures. Sophisticated power management systems ensure that all equipment receives clean, stable electrical power. But perhaps most impressively, all of these modifications were accomplished without changing the B-2's external appearance. From the outside, an upgraded B-2 looks identical to the original version that first flew in 1989. The stealth characteristics that make the aircraft invisible to radar remain unchanged. This invisible upgrade philosophy means that adversaries have no way of knowing which B-2s have the new capabilities and which ones are still using older systems. Crew training and operational changes. Installing new hardware is only half the battle. The other half involves training crews to use these enhanced capabilities effectively. B-2 pilots and mission specialists are among the most highly trained aviators in the world, but even they needed extensive additional training to master the new systems. The training program for the upgraded systems took place at several classified locations over the past 2 years. Crews learned to interpret new types of threat displays, understand the capabilities and limitations of the enhanced countermeasures, and integrate the new defensive systems with their existing tactical knowledge. One of the most significant changes involves how missions are planned and executed. With the new countermeasure receivers providing unprecedented situational awareness, mission planners can develop more sophisticated flight paths and engagement strategies. Routes that would have been considered too dangerous before are now viable options. The enhanced defensive capabilities also change how B-2s can be employed tactically. Previously, stealth bombers were primarily used for single aircraft missions to minimize the risk of detection. With the new upgrade, multiple B-2s can operate in closer coordination, sharing threat information and mutual defensive coverage. This has opened up entirely new mission profiles. B-2S can now provide electronic warfare support for other aircraft, serve as airborne command posts in contested environments, or even conduct reconnaissance missions in areas where other aircraft couldn't survive. The broader strategic implications. This $56 million upgrade represents much more than just improved defensive systems for 20 aircraft. It demonstrates American commitment to maintaining technological superiority in an increasingly competitive global environment. When China claims to have developed anti-stealth radar, America responds by making stealth aircraft even more invisible. When Russia threatens to sell advanced air defense systems to hostile nations, America ensures that those systems will be ineffective against our most critical assets. This technological competition has been going on for decades, but it's accelerating rapidly. Our adversaries are investing heavily in military modernization, often copying or stealing American innovations. But as this upgrade demonstrates, staying ahead of that competition requires constant innovation and improvement. The B-2 fleet represents just one element of American airpower, but it's a crucial element. These 20 aircraft provide capabilities that no other nation possesses. They can strike targets anywhere in the world with minimal warning and maximum precision. More importantly, the mere existence of this capability serves as a powerful deterrent against potential aggression. When hostile nations consider their options, they must account for the possibility that critical targets deep within their territory could be destroyed without warning. This uncertainty makes them think twice about aggressive actions and helps maintain stability in volatile regions. Looking forward, the B-21 Raider connection. While we're celebrating the success of the B-2 upgrade, it's worth noting that this represents just one part of a much larger modernization effort. The lessons learned from upgrading the B-2's countermeasure systems are directly applicable to the development of its successor, the B-21 Raider. The B-21 program has been shrouded in secrecy, but we know that it incorporates many advances that were first tested on upgraded B-2s. The new countermeasure receivers, enhanced situational awareness systems, and advanced threat detection capabilities are all being refined for inclusion in the next generation bomber. This approach makes perfect sense from both technical and financial perspectives. Rather than developing entirely new systems from scratch, engineers can build upon proven technologies that have already demonstrated their effectiveness in operational environments. The B-2 upgrade program serves as an extended testing and refinement phase for B-21 technologies. We also know that the second B-21 prototype recently completed its first flight, joining the ongoing test program at Edwards Air Force Base. While specific details remain classified, industry observers note that the test program is progressing ahead of schedule and under budget, rare achievements in modern military aircraft development. The success of the B-2 upgrade program likely contributed to this progress. When you have proven technologies and experienced engineering teams, development risks are significantly reduced. The B-21 will benefit from decades of operational experience with stealth bombers and years of refinement in defensive systems technology. The human element throughout all this discussion of advanced technology and sophisticated systems, it's important to remember that the ultimate success of any military program depends on the people who operate and maintain the equipment. The men and women who fly and support the B-2 represent the finest examples of American military professionalism. B-2 pilots undergo years of specialized training before they're qualified to operate these aircraft independently. They must master not only the complex systems and procedures, but also the unique challenges of stealth operations. Flying an aircraft that enemies can't see requires different tactics, different planning approaches, and different risk management strategies. The maintenance crews deserve special recognition. Keeping stealth aircraft mission-ready requires extraordinary attention to detail and specialized skills that exist nowhere else in the world. These technicians work with materials and systems that push the boundaries of current technology. Their expertise ensures that when called upon, the B-2 fleet is ready to perform its mission flawlessly. The recent upgrade program created additional challenges for these dedicated professionals. They had to learn new systems, develop new maintenance procedures, and ensure seamless integration with existing equipment. Their success in meeting these challenges demonstrates the high quality of personnel that serve in our armed forces. Cost effectiveness and value. $56 million might seem like a substantial investment, but when you consider what it accomplishes, it represents exceptional value for taxpayers. This upgrade extends the operational life of the B-2 fleet, maintains America's strategic deterrent capability, and provides our military with options that no other nation possesses. To put this figure in perspective, $56 million is less than the cost of a single modern fighter aircraft. Yet this investment enhances the capabilities of 20 of the most advanced bombers ever built. It ensures that these aircraft remain effective against evolving threats for years to come. The upgrade also leverages previous investments in the B-2 program. Rather than starting from scratch with entirely new aircraft, we're enhancing existing capabilities and extending the useful life of platforms that have already proven their worth. This approach maximizes return on investment while maintaining our technological edge. From a strategic perspective, the deterrent value of maintaining an effective stealth bomber capability far exceeds the cost of the upgrade program. The mere knowledge that these aircraft can reach any target anywhere in the world provides diplomatic leverage that helps prevent conflicts before they start. Operational security and information warfare. One aspect of this upgrade that deserves attention is how it demonstrates the importance of operational security in modern military operations. The upgrade program was conducted with minimal public attention, avoiding the kind of publicity that might have allowed adversaries to develop countermeasures. This approach reflects a broader understanding that information itself has become a weapon in modern warfare. By controlling what information is released publicly and when it's released, military planners can maintain tactical advantages while still providing appropriate transparency to oversight authorities and the American public. The timing of revealing details about the upgrade is also strategically significant. Rather than announcing capabilities before they're fully deployed, Military officials waited until the systems were operational and proven before discussing them publicly. This approach prevents adversaries from developing countermeasures while the systems are still in development. Conclusion: the $56 million upgrade to the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber represents everything that makes American military technology the envy of the world. It combines cutting-edge innovation with proven operational experience. It leverages existing investments while preparing for future challenges. Most importantly, it ensures that the brave men and women who defend our nation have the best possible tools for their mission. This upgrade proves that reports of stealth technology's obsolescence have been greatly exaggerated. While our adversaries work to counter yesterday's capabilities, American engineers are already developing tomorrow's solutions. The B-2 remains as invisible and effective as ever, perhaps more so than at any time in its operational history. As we look toward the future, programs like this upgrade demonstrate America's commitment to maintaining technological superiority. Our military doesn't just react to threats, it anticipates them and develops solutions before they become critical problems. That proactive approach has kept our nation safe for decades and will continue to do so for decades to come. If you found this deep dive into the B-2's secret upgrade as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive coverage of America's most advanced military technologies. These stories matter, and your support helps us continue bringing you the inside information that mainstream media often overlooks.